Hello folks, this is TurnipGames, I'm Rob.
I'm Mark.
And we made a long-ass podcast last week, and I was not comfortable uploading the whole thing as one chunk, so this week's podcast is actually part 2 of last week's so-called Zeldacast.
Zeldacast part 2.
Because we figured you guys can't take that much in 1 week yet.
It's not that we
You're not
trust that you
stretched
can't
out
take
enough
that.
for it yet. We need to
But
open it up a little wider.
we're going to make it a comfortable thing.
A comfortable fit.
Like, you've taken 2-hour podcasts from Rob and Ryan, but it hasn't been quite that nuts.
No, because this was like 4+ hours.
This was me going off on me and Rob.
Multiple tangents.
Going off on a month of tangents.
A month
that
of stuff.
Haven't satisfied.
Yeah, it was
quite a
gross.
while.
It was gross. So we broke it into 2 weeks, and here you go. So, enjoy,
Thank you
guys.
very much.
And welcome back again. I took a massive piss. Everything is great.
Start
there were
at the
like
OST.
no casualties. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I gotta keep our music rolling. Sorry about that. Okay, cool. We were, I think, talking about Zelda and all that shit that we can't seem to get.
Since like minute 1.
Since almost minute 1.
Welcome to the Zeldacast.
Welcome to the Zeldacast, which we might as well call it when it's just... I thought things were bad with me and Ryan. I really did. I didn't know what kind of shit I would get into.
But the thing I was saying just before we started, and I'll apologize for, but not apologize that it's a bad thing. I'll apologize that it's a time-consuming thing. As someone that hasn't fully consumed massive premium quality JRPGs and other quality franchises, Legend of Zelda is the only thing I can reference. That's the only thing I have to tie back to. So if I want to compare something to something that is, I say AAA, but not as in referencing budget. I'm referencing quality of production, quality of reception, quality of storytelling, gameplay, mechanic, and other that goes into making the experience of game. So that's all I have to reference back to. Until a later date when I can consume larger and better, not quite than in reference to Legend of Zelda, but the average fare for the North American gamer. Until I have bigger, better, longer franchises to talk about. And I love Chromehounds. But that's later. That's all I have to reference back to.
Right, which is why we keep getting pulled back. And also, yeah, that's all you have to reference, and that's all I want to reference.
Alright. So
it hurts to not... And we've got 3 minutes down out of the 10 that I said.
So we've got the Zeldacast down.
With the Zeldacast is almost down. Is almost down.
We love it.
We
don't want to stop.
I've loved it, and
but
you
we've
just
talked during some of the breaks, and we say, "Oh my God, we can't make a 2.5-hour Zeldacast." But we just did.
We just did, and every time we got up to go to the bathroom, get a snack or something,
We say
we can't.
shit.
Okay, when we get back, we're finishing talking about Zelda.
We gotta stop talking about Zelda, and we.
The issue is this comes in at a week.
5 or 6 more points.
This is a weekend where I haven't seen Mark for weeks.
A month.
For a month. He's finished Link Between Worlds, I believe, in that time. Maybe slightly before.
A little bit before.
A little before.
But we hadn't really broken it down.
We didn't do a podcast yet.
Yeah, we didn't do a podcast.
I only saw him to play
and
other
we hadn't
games.
personally broken it down and talked about how that had changed my view on quality games.
Because before that, you were pretty shit tier.
GTA, COD, Battlefield. I've only bought Battlefield 3.
Their quality, they're tested, they're video games. They sell units. They sell lots of units. To me, that doesn't mean it's good. To me, that doesn't mean it's worth my money. That doesn't mean in 15 years I will reference it as my favorite game.
People sell a lot of Coke.
People sell a lot of
meth.
Coke ain't great
People sell a lot of weed.
Yeah.
And weed's never killed anybody, but that's another...
Maybe. You haven't injected it yet.
I haven't injected 3 marijuanas and died instantly. But people sell a lot of things that aren't beneficial to you. And that's coming from a cigar smoker.
Yeah.
I need a smoke.
People sell... I'm dying for a smoke. No. It's, people sell things that... Let me see if I can quote you. People sell things that aren't good for you. This is coming from someone who bought Final Fantasy X2 on release day.
It wasn't release day. It was like 2-3 years after.
I bought it on release day.
Ooh!
I went out...
Okay.
I remember being upset that
when I got... so bad?
When I got home, the power was out, and I couldn't play.
Oh!
And the second it came on... Plugged my PS2 back in, popped it in,
and God, was it bad.
I called the fucking power plant. I was like, guys, are you aware that the power came back on? You should really turn it back off. No, I got it and I thought it was cool.
Oh no.
And my friends came over and we played it. And they're like, what's this Spice Girls? And I'm like,
it was Spice Girls. It was Spice Girls the JRPG.
It was. And the real issue with it is that not so much that it was a weird girl power thing.
It was good in that it allowed... It was very free with the job system. It was very open with the job system, which was great.
Which was cool, and it was all-girl lead, which is something you don't see, and I'm not saying that we should even care.
Because it was all-girl lead.
It wasn't bad because, or good because, it was...
It was just a poorly planned and executed game.
That's not even my issue. It's deep... I have played through and completed near 100% Final Fantasy X. Original. Spoiler alert! Anyone?
Aeris dies!
Yeah, then 3 games later, Titus dies. And at the end, and it's, he, not so much made a sacrifice as that just he has to die for certain reasons, to not fully spoil it to anyone who was too lazy to mute it. He dies for certain reasons. And is gone, he fades away. The ending was very touching to someone who's not easily touched in that way. I'm gonna keep moving from that terminology.
I'm touching him in that way.
Yeah, well, you're allowed to, but the fans don't know that. And the ending is Titus teaches Yuna a certain whistle to make, I'll come to your rescue.
The bonus song?
No, not a bonus.
No, it's very touching.
It's
a big moment.
They have get back, and Titus and Auron aren't with them, and they have this
it's that little melancholy,
this sort of press conference thing where it's like, oh, so Sin, the big bad guy, Sin, he's dead. And they're like, oh yeah, we defeated him and he should not be coming back this time. The calm's not going to end. And they're just super unhyped. It's this big ceremony, everyone's celebrating, and the main party is just depressed as hell. And Yuna goes out...
Because their friends are dead.
Have you seen it?
I have not.
Okay, well, okay. You're like... It kind of seems like you might have the way you're talking like you've seen it. And Yuna goes out on the pier and whistles for Titus, and she just breaks down. He's not coming. She stands there alone, and it goes to credits. And you're like, oh, he's not coming back. No, she has grown to where she's independent. She's defeated the world evil, but she lost what she cared for the most.
Now, here's what I'll parallel to that does not equivocate to a human loss, but can equivocate to a very well-planned, masterfully planned video game character loss. The reason I wasn't here 2 weeks ago, we put down the cat that I grew up with.
Yeah.
When he was 8 months old, he broke his hip. And the way he broke it, it was right below the ball of his leg where it fit into the hip joint.
Right.
They removed the joint. So it was just there, but a cat's leg is so muscular that it could hang out and kind of just do its own thing. And not decrease his quality of life.
Yeah.
At the short term. At the long term, we knew at some point it might, so we might have to put him down. It didn't make it any easier when we had to decide to. But we had to do that a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks.
How old was he?
He was 13.
Right.
So... You can shout for him all you want. You can shake the treat bag all you want. He doesn't show up.
Right.
So for a masterfully planned video game character death or loss, you could have that same feeling and that same emotion, that same response.
Yeah, I mean, same with my dog. Like, I had Pugsley for 14 years. I was an only child also.
That was even stronger.
3 or 4 years of that.
Yeah.
And I lived in Kansas. It was my house, my dog, and corn.
And the corn.
My house, my dog, and corn.
And you can only play so much cornball before it gets tired.
You can only go on Cornhub so many times.
The farmer's resource.
Oh shit, you know the subtitle I came up with.
I know.
Cornhub, the farmer's #1 resource. You can only go on there so many times until you play with your dog, and I grew up with them, and we had the same kind of...
And he made that demon growly sub-noise that he always made.
He was deaf, he was mostly blind, he didn't know he was naked.
He saw shadows, and...
He would see weird shadows, and just, what the fuck was that? You would kind of see something. Anyway, he was really hurting, and we had to do what we had to do with that. He also had cancer like you wouldn't believe around the end.
Systemic.
It was... noticeably we had that with... worse by the day.
Yeah.
It was very bad. And
we had
not to make this the downer cast. Yeah. But it... Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And I grew up with them alone with him.
Yeah. Now it's just into sound effects, so we know we're getting close to the end.
Right. Yeah, now it's just playing the sound effects.
It was the Zeldacast, now it's the downer cast, but it's giving that frame of view where you've got that personal connection.
That you spent 45 to 50 hours even watching that connection form.
Yeah.
That's not a movie. Like a movie, an hour and a half can still make you sad.
Yeah, Legend of the Fellowship of the Rings.
Legend of the Fellowship of the Rings?
Fellowship of the Rings. And the Lord of the Rings. Like, you feel bad when those characters die.
It's
Boromir in the forest, and all of a sudden, the new King of Gondor has an arrow sticking out of his chest. And you don't know there's literally nothing you can do.
And Titus didn't even know it was coming.
Titus didn't know it was coming. I mean, our pets didn't have the comprehensive, capacity to know it was coming.
Yeah, it was bad.
But they didn't know it was coming. And there's nothing you could do for it.
I believe this is like the credit roll that's playing now. So
we've got a couple minutes.
Yeah, I'll need to load something up. Anyhow, to move on from things we love dying, X2... Toriyama, this is where I believe right around that time they're doing the transition from Squaresoft to Square Enix. And
what was the big developmental and management difference between those? I'm not aware.
Well, Toriyama takes a bigger role.
Where was he before the split?
He was up there. He wasn't pulling the strings. Like, I don't know the title of his position.
What was he? Okay, was he directly involved with development?
Well, Sakaguchi leaves, the creator of Final Fantasy, leaves and creates Mistwalker, which does the last story.
Okay.
For some very good frame of reference for you, and Toriyama kind of steps up. Nomura gets bigger, which is a good thing in my opinion. Nomura, character designer for 7, and from there on has been director for most titles. He directed Type 0. He's directing 15. Did character design for 13, but didn't fuck it up. He didn't do the parts that made it kind of fucked.
Yeah, he designed like
he drew like lightning and stuff like.
And those are good character drawings,
aren't they?
They're great models.
They're great models, and I'm sure great sketches. But not to get too far, please. We gotta keep moving here.
Yeah. Because we're on credits.
We're on credits. Toriyama, in my opinion, and in almost everyone I talk to anymore,
dicked up 13.
Set things on a now 12, 13 wrong path. Was like I believe he 12 or 13 year path, not Final Fantasy 12. I mean 12 or 13 year downward spiral since around that time. 10 should have, in my opinion, ended at the end of the credits. Mm-hmm. And been done. Now we do 11, now we do 12. And
so
they're like
10x2 was a failure of
the game design.
Failure of the game design. Failure of drawing
10,
out a dead
the point of 10
story.
The point of 10 that the big punch of 10 was that you can lose things you love even while doing the right thing. You sometimes not everyone's a winner.
Sometimes, no matter how hard you try,
or how hard you want something,
you've won the war.
Or how good of a person you are.
You've won the war, but you've lost friends.
You lost the best friend, and there's no way to get that back. And that's the feeling.
Hey, who's the best friend?
What? Of us?
No, who's of the best friend cast? Who's the best friend?
I like Pat.
Pat's funny.
Pat's the show to me. Let's please not do that on our own podcast.
Okay.
We'll do that during an episode where we just chat, but doing it on a podcast
about the friend cast.
A podcast about the friend cast.
Can't happen.
The super best friend cast. It can't. That's castception. Yeah, and then 10-2 just undoes. I feel bad for the dude that wrote that and was like, "Where's the impact?" Oh, here it is. It's right here. This is a big thing at the end. And like, okay, so now what we're gonna do? That game sold well. What I'm gonna do?
So draw yourself an up-swooping line, like an upward curve for 10.
What I'm going to,
and then a downward swerve for 10x2. For 10-2.
What I'm going to do is basically sell out on it. 10 performed well. What we're going to do is 10x2. Like, oh wait, but the main dude died, so we can't really play off that. And like, well, whatever. We'd rather make money. So 10-2 happens, doesn't do great. Recently, the novel 10-2.5.
Why?
In Japan, there's radio dramas, novels, OVAs, all this spin-off junk that you and I don't follow, but a lot of fans do. 10-2.5. Titus comes back.
Why? What?
The end of 10-2? All of 10-2, she's following this dude, which ends up not being Titus. Looks like him. She thinks it's him. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, that's borderline passable. 10 was about her developing and not needing Titus anymore. She was a strong woman now, don't need no man. Although she's sad she lost him.
And they were writing a strong character.
They wrote a strong female character in the right way. Not just girl power for the sake of girl power. And
girl power because the character progressed.
The character progressed and ended being a strong woman that I felt was an awesome character. 10-2
had losses, had gains.
Had losses and gains. She was a real person. 10-2 is her just crying and bitching about Titus. Not just being needy, wanting him back, undoing all of her growth. 10-2, then she gets what she wants. Cries for a whole game. Titus isn't coming back. I'm like, okay, fine. Look, he's super dead. You find out at the end 10-2 is still dead. And it's like, oh wait, no, he's coming back. So 10-2.5, he comes back and dies again. Now they're exploring 10-3, where he comes back again.
Fuck off.
That's what I wanted to get to this whole time, was 10-3. The third iteration of Titus? What does it even mean anymore? Does it have any impact? Do people even dying matter? Does that even...
No, here's what happens in 10-3. Titus is a god. He's immortal. He never really died. That lined up, if the audio lines up perfectly with the fucking voice track, that lined up with a really interesting chord change and the change to guitar.
Yeah, things are getting uncomfortable.
Credit change.
The thing was he wasn't mortal though.
No, I know he wasn't.
He was
but that's like the sell-outy way to just write off bringing a character back.
Because 10 was good.
10 was Final Fantasy standard of approval.
I like the name Final Fantasy being on that box. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And if a guy
that's the
was
way I've noticed a lot of Final Fantasies being. The Final Fantasies that have multiple titles towards them, save 13, have been good the first time.
4 and its expansions were all passable.
Then that's That's going to your exception to the rule. And the exception to the rule of the other extreme is Final Fantasy XIII. I haven't met a person yet. I'm not saying someone out there did not fully enjoy 13. I enjoyed a lot of the gameplay. I enjoyed the mechanics.
You played through a good bit,
a good bit of it. But it wasn't the Final Fantasy golden standard of approval.
Not quite. No. It always felt off.
Backtracking and exploring and expanding and getting that edge in gameplay wasn't for the people that were into putting the extra 20 hours into a playthrough.
It's like playing Zelda.
It was for everybody.
It's like playing Zelda where that fucking owl, Kaepora Gaebora, will force you to go back onto the path if you walk more than 10 feet off in between towns. And there's no heart pieces, and there's no secret dungeons or anything.
It's just you walk X distance and you get the heart piece. Yes. You walk X distance
and if you try not to,
the levels.
The door's just locked. Shit's locked.
Yep.
And okay, the characters are alright.
It doesn't let you get shat on.
Story was iffy.
It doesn't let you get shat on.
Yeah, the story was iffy, but whatever. The characters.
It's at the very low end. It's grasping by the fingertips.
Yeah.
For the Final Fantasy Gold Standard.
Like 9, I was like, whoa, there's like wars happening, and I could go all into which stories were good and which ones were not my favorite. 13 definitely falls into the not favorite zone. I've completed the game twice. I'm not one of those haters, those anti-fanboys, that I don't...
Never touch it.
I don't never touch it and then troll on threads of it or anything like that. I've beat it twice. I own it. I got it on pre-order. I've
played it here.
I got 13-2 on pre-order also. I liked it enough on pre-order. I have the Genji gloves or whatever and the Genji bow. I can prove it. I got 13. Fuck these names. I got 13-2 on pre-order.
What is that? Lightning's Revenge?
Reloaded. Lightning Reloaded. No, Lightning's hardly in it. It's Sarah and this new guy Noel.
Okay.
And you can tell now looking back. You can tell from opening scene 1 that they were planning 13-3. Because the entire story is the worst of any Final Fantasy I have played, and I own every NA release of main numbered titles.
And some weird...
And tacticsy kind of...
Plus something you'll see in some upcoming videos.
Yeah?
Something... The hypest gameplay on YouTube?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm ready to play it.
No, the group. You and Hakuro.
Shh! I remember now. I can't talk about that.
You're not allowed.
I'm not allowed.
Like, sometimes we joke around about things we're not allowed to talk about. This, you ain't allowed to talk about, boy.
I can't. I got my copy today, though.
Oh, really? I want to see it.
I can't play it because I don't have I don't have a big enough memory stick yet.
Jesus Christ!
Shit, now they know what I'm talking about. Fuck.
No, they don't.
Anyhow, oh god damn, it's good. Have you seen the trailer?
No.
Can I show? After this, I'm showing you the trailer.
Okay.
Years old, and you will like it.
But they have no idea what you're talking about.
No, it's fine. 13-2 has the worst story because you can tell from the beginning they were planning to make a third one. And although the story...
So the entire game is a setup. It's an intro.
It's the middle child. Which you could entirely ignore because the story is based... You haven't played?
No, I haven't even seen.
It starts, Sarah's on the fucking beach. Or something.
So which character is
the
Sarah?
End of 13.
You'll have to remind me.
Lightning's younger sister. The really hot younger sister.
I don't remember. I didn't get that.
Everyone named Sarah's hot. You don't need to... Just Sarah. Lightning's younger sister. The one that was in the crystal.
No, all I remember is we got to...
Do you remember Snow?
Man of Color's child's rescue.
You remember Snow?
Like we just broke the Man of Color's...
Snow?
No. Yes.
The blonde guy with the black bandana, the trench coat, his girlfriend, that pink-haired chick. He was trying to break her out of the crystal.
Vaguely.
Okay, her.
Okay.
The end of 13, Lightning disappears right after, They're like, oh yeah, blah blah, we're great. Wait, shit, where's Lightning? I don't know. Do you see her? I don't see her. Oh, what the fuck? So then it's like 2 years.
So we'll look for her.
It's like 2 years later. Or some amount of time later, Sarah's yucking it up on the beach, doing her Dead or Alive Extreme 2 volleyball.
I can live with that.
I can live with that.
But...
And then a time paradox rips open, Noelle comes out, and like, Sarah, I'm from the future, we need to fix the time paradoxes. And you're like, what? And
this is a temporal paradox. I can't not
This
wear
is a
these
thing
socks.
where at the end, I disappear, and due to a time loop thingy, none of us remember it for 13-3.
It was a dream!
It was just, essentially, it was a dream at the end.
But then who was phone?
Who was phone is what 13 will answer. Or 13-3 will hopefully answer.
Lightning's return or revenge?
Lightning's return.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. My head's fuzzy.
Lightning's period.
Lightning Shark Week. Yeah, there's...
But you know what? I can't wait for Shark Week.
Lightning returns. And you know what? 13-3...
Because I like Shark Week.
Discovery Channel Shark Week?
Yeah, I love
It's
Shark
good.
Week.
My sister...
Me and my nephew get really hype on learning about
You
sharks.
see my sister's, like, stuffed shark? It's awesome.
No. I have a little... not a little. I have like a 2.5-foot plastic shark that I got in the airport in Orlando because I was
like
so hyped on
in
sharks.
jars? Like how they have the
yeah,
the jar sharks? Those are always cool, but I can't get
sad.
too close because I don't like fish.
You don't like sea things.
I don't like sea. That's all I need to say. I just don't like the sea. Yeah, 13-3.
Go watch Blackfish.
You don't need me to complain. If you've listened this far in the podcast, you're this into games, you don't need me to tell you why 13-3 is not the greatest.
But you know what? Some people will just listen because it's background sound.
Right.
And sometimes I listen to the Friendcast and I do other things. I'm sorry, Friendcast guys. If sometime in the distant future when we get the hypest gameplay on YouTube and steal the title from you guys, once you're old and decrepit, and you know, go bother the door greeter at Walmart rather than, or whatever they have in the U.S. Republic of Canada, rather than play games or do podcasts. And
what are you trying to say about them? You're trying to be not offensive, but offensive.
I'm saying one day they won't be doing this anymore. I love their content, but nothing lasts forever.
I've thought about that too. That's weird.
Someday, it's just not going to make money anymore.
13-3, not making the most money either. Didn't do super great in Japan. Open up the... Yeah. And, it... 13 sold actually well. 13-2 sold
because
half.
it was big.
Sold
they promoted 13 as huge.
When I was in New York, I think they had a big FF thing hanging.
Because I didn't hear anything about FF13... I was not big into online gaming, so FF11 passed over my head.
I played 11. Yeah.
11, everything I've heard about 11 was pretty damn good.
One of the most profitable MMOs.
It had 3 DLC, well, not 3 DLCs on a physical fucking disc. 3 physical release DLCs at the minimum.
On PS2.
On PS2.
You're just saying this because you see it on my shelf.
I see it on your shelf.
Yeah.
So at the minimum, you've got a game on PS2 that's for online. That's good enough that they've got 3 expansions.
It was
at
on
that point in time.
PC,
when DLC
360,
isn't a fucking
PS3.
thing.
Yeah, you had to just load that onto your HDD add-on to your PS2. An add-on hard drive to the PS2 for this one game was doing well enough to warrant 4+ add-ons.
Exactly. So that was selling big, but I wasn't in that group at that time.
FF11 has since
so
become
that passed a mile above
Square Enix's most profitable title ever.
Is there a subscription fee?
Yes, that is why.
So that's what's gaining them
from 2001 to 2012-ish it took.
Was it like 15 a month?
15, 20? I don't remember. About 20.
It probably varies.
Depending on Anyway, I enjoyed it.
So 11's good.
I met some.
11 is crowd pleasing.
The community was excellent. was excellent.
It's a JRPG community.
I was under level 20 out of a cap of 75, 80. Mm-hmm. Level 20. A fucking one hit me with a crit and kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Guild leaders of multi-hundred with a
player
website,
guilds.
player guilds would spend, I shit you not, 8 hours in a row walking me around the map to get me all the fast travel points.
Mm-hmm.
Right click follow me. I will spend my day getting you set up and buy you the best item in each town. Because
that's the JRPG community.
In some games.
In some games.
No, yeah, that is the JRPG community. Guild Wars
is a Western RPG
for just Troll City.
Exactly. And I mean, I've never played WoW. I've never gotten super into Guild Wars. I've seen some gameplay.
RuneScape.
I had a roommate that was big into Guild Wars. I got into RuneScape, was a member for a good while.
I was nuts into RuneScape.
He was nuts into RuneScape. So I had that.
Into it.
But the community for
Western online games,
for JRPGs, is much different.
Much different
than Western RPGs and parallel RPGs.
It's really cool. I actually
because Guild Wars is a good parallel RPG. There's a good Asiatic or Oriental, Asia server, Western server, Nordic server kind of deal going on. So you've got your communities and you've got your different people. Some people are assholes, some people are good, some people are just ignore you and keep going. So you've got to pick your communities.
Yeah, it had a very good community in-game.
Did it have a good support community out of game, like with forums, with threads, if you started a thread?
Are you saying run by Square? Or was there a Rune HQ kind of...
Yeah, I mean,
the fans set up their own shit pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Play Online, their sort of service, their website that ran their
like Mabinogi's forums.
Essentially that. But by Square Enix, were not easily navigatable. People didn't use as much as just their own shit.
Because player setup forums were streamlined to find player-oriented content.
When you're in the game and you say, how do I do this? Or who do I ask about this? They'll be like, yo, here's what I use.
Rather than expansive...
Yeah. That fucked up one of my Christmas days. I got the game Christmas Eve, like the night, and woke up early to play it. Turns out that the shit at GameStop didn't put my code in.
Yeah.
My activation code. And
so
I spent
the disc
5
wasn't
hours. Good. Yeah. 5 hours of Christmas Day.
So the disc was a potato.
The disc was a potato, not due to the fault of Square Enix, due to the fault of a guy at GameStop not putting my code with the game.
And you know what? They get so busy at Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he wasn't a shit.
I'm calling him a shit because he wrecked a 15-year-old's Christmas.
But by the massive influx of gaming purchases and transactions and things they had to do,
I don't hold it against the company anymore.
An activation went by the wayside.
Yeah. One
out of an assumed one.
Sure.
And at least one out of X went to the wayside.
Yep.
So there's that. 11 was a fan, pretty good received title.
Very well received.
I've heard nothing about 12. Like, where's 12?
12? 12 sits in an awkward place,
where
in my opinion, because
it floats in the nebula of acceptable Final Fantasy games, but it's not influential. Is what I'm gathering by your...
I've talked to... I could give you 3 people right on my Skype list from certain, groups I'm a part of that would tell you that's their favorite. Favorite? No. We agree on 8.
8's great. So far, I've liked 8 the best out of any that I've touched.
You need to touch. You need to
10
feel
to
up. You need to
13,
wear a nasty trench coat,
8,
sneak up behind
9,
9, and just
7.
Feel it. You haven't really touched 9.
I've touched it.
You need to beat disc 1
touched
of 9
like an hour
and then
and a
tell me
half
it's not
of
your
9.
favorite.
Okay.
9 is unbelievably solid.
Mm-hmm.
It's a concrete fucking wall of solidness. It plays. It doesn't have the junction system. It's so RPG that where there's no jank to it at all. It works the way you're thinking. It has attack, item, magic. You beat a fight, you get XP and you get AP towards learning new abilities. Mm-hmm. And there's a bar that shows how many AP you have. And you equip a torso armor, accessory, head, and weapon.
Okay.
And every character has that. Characters
Is
have a
there
class.
job works
You have
where
a-
you can expand that?
You can't switch jobs.
Okay.
A la Tactics FF5, FF12, which is where people like it.
Okay.
FF12 takes place in the same world and a coherent timeline of Tactics.
Okay.
The same continent.
So it's like a standard
It's
action bar FF Tactics.
FF12 plays like an MMO.
Okay.
It's all
numbers
real
crunchy.
time. It's all real time.
Okay.
There's no transition.
So the faster you can mash X.
No.
Okay.
Not real time.
Like
Action
button
game.
mashing.
All I mean is that there's not a screen break between a random encounter. The enemies are running around on the field.
Mm-hmm.
There's still an ATB.
Okay.
You wait for a bar to fill every time you hit.
Okay.
It plays like an MMO.
Okay.
You can main character anyone you want.
Okay.
You can equip almost any weapon on any character. My entire team uses this one hammer just due to its damage.
Okay.
It's the most, besides the other ones that feature a job system, the most character buildy. It has something called a license board. Every enemy you kill gives you 1-2x license points. You have this thing called license board, like I said, and you start with a central fucking square. Do you play FF10 to know about the sphere grid?
I've played 13, so I know about sphere.
It's like Crystarium, kind of.
Okay.
It's kind of like that, but you can go anywhere you want. You can take Vaughn, your main general dude, and just go down to the stupid corner here, learn Ultima, and then learn Cure 4, and just have your only attack be standard attack. Or you can run him up here, learn Fire 3, and like a summon. And every character out of your 6 or 7 have just a big ass license board. And you can run. They're spec'd. Pinello, the main girl, is
now
a thief. Your
Okay.
main guy is I use a sword guy.
Now
There's an archer.
if you do a quest that gains you 2 license points,
Yes.
do each of your characters
Yes.
gain 2 license points?
Yes.
Okay.
A license point is one for everyone. Not who lands the final hit.
Or just a general license pool, and whoever you pick first.
Everyone
uses-
has their own license points.
Okay.
I kill a slime.
And he's worth 1 license
He's
point.
worth 1. Now,
You have
Vaughn has 1,
5
Pinello has
players.
1, Bosch has 1,
Okay.
Balthier has 1, Fran has 1, everyone has 1.
I love how you just name drop all these characters that come up in these games. I like also how we're getting into the...
Four Sword soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played a lot of it. I got it the day... I have all these stories about Final Fantasy, too. I got 12 for Christmas when I was 12 or 13. Came home, got a nasty-ass sore throat. Played 20 hours. And had a blast. I just had a blast of a weekend. I was too sick to hang out, but I had a new-ass game. It was
by Jove, if you weren't gonna get up and play that shit.
I played it, and I played enough to have a meaningful...
Because god damn it, parents, we're sick. You can't sit in class and get other kids sick.
It was Christmas, so it was on Christmas break.
Down and we can.
It was Christmas break.
We can veg and play a game.
And I was vegging really hard.
I mean, we're not going to be
actually, they wouldn't let me come to school. It was so nasty.
Yeah.
I got a doctor telling me don't.
Yeah. We won't be playing at, like, max brain capacity. So a puzzle that might take us an hour to figure out at normal capacity might take us 2.5 to figure out at, sick kid capacity. But, Jesus, do you want to be the person that starts the pandemic of...
No. So,
Schizophrenitis.
It was just a sore throat, so it wasn't... You're not going to ruin your life, but it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
One really quick thing. There's a game, have you ever heard of Siberia? Or Siberia 2?
I've heard of the place, Siberia.
No. Do you know Myst? No, Myst.
Yes, I've heard of Myst.
It's a Myst game. Not the Myst series. It's a Myst point and click. It's a point and click.
Ooh.
It's just it has nothing to do with Myst or the people who made Myst.
Okay.
It's a point and click thing. I got nasty sicker than this once, and I was sleeping or on the computer playing Siberia 2.
I can't wait to hear this music. This
That's so battle-y.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that in Four Swords.
That's actually Zelda battle like from other games too.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's really tense. It's really nice, but it's still really light and movie. It's motiony. It is. Moving around.
If the sounds line up, because it's weird if.
We've got pauses and things in between. And I mean, we're not professionals.
We're not professionals at video editing.
We're doing this for fun. We're already going to play games. We're already talking about games. So if we can put out some information
and videos
put out
and
an
podcasts
that helps you get into something or lets you like digest and get better at thinking about or playing or, you know, even if you just listen to us in the background. I don't care.
Even if you just fap while you listen.
Even if you're just using this as you're turning up the volume on this and you're turning down the volume on your porn.
That's fine.
I don't care.
It's fine.
Thanks for choosing TurnipGames.
Thank you for
choosing
TurnipGames.
Thanks for flying TurnipGames. I hope your masturbation is great.
It's great. Or at least good.
Or at least good. I hope you're not jerking it and then you find some gay porn in a banner ad.
This is subpar.
If you're not into that.
This isn't my favorite day of jerking off.
I hope it just jacked up the experience that much.
Jacked up the experience.
Or jacked off the experience that much. This is Turnip Gaming's. Fuck you, kids.
Yeah, I really hope kids don't listen to our podcast. No, well...
Audience is 18 and up.
Or not. It's fine.
Or not. We were revealed to this kind of stuff before we were 18.
I was playing...
And I mean, if you're revealed to it in an inoffensive way, referentially, like Majora's Mask did, it's not traumatizing. It's not making you a murderous little psychopath. No. It's making you an analytical...
Psychopath. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got, the store's not around anymore, so I don't think anyone will get in trouble, and no one will even fucking care. But I got sold Grand Theft Auto San Andreas when I was 12 at Blockbuster.
Wow. No, there's Blockbuster places.
There are. Not the one I'm talking about.
There's all around the place, dude.
Yeah.
Like.
But I went in, and I went over and got it. My dad didn't even come in. He didn't come in. He was like, just go get your game. It was my own money,
but
too.
Here's the thing.
And I went
not entirely... You know what? No, because
my story.
They couldn't rent...
This is my story.
Okay, you go.
It's almost done. And I walked up to the counter, and the guy looks at the game. I see him chew on the idea. I see him chew a little... He looks at me, and he goes, you got a funny shirt. I'll sell it to you. Because I had one of those dumb shirts, like, you know...
Suck my nuts.
Just says some dumb shit that I got at, like, Target.
Yeah.
And he was
like... I'm wearing my Rio de Janeiro that I got at Target.
Yeah, funny, though. It was like... It said, like, Eat, Sleep, Game or something like that. Just some dumb fucking thing. Not now, I'm Yeah, it was not Now I'm Gaming, and it had some guy playing games. Like, whatever.
Some stick figure.
It was a stick figure.
Nice. How did I guess?
Because you've seen the shirt.
Yep.
I used to wear it to school.
Yep.
And, yeah, he was like, I like your shirt, I'll sell it to you. So he sold me San Andreas. I went home, played some San Andreas, went to sleep, didn't remember
You watched Hot Coffee.
I watched Hot Coffee?
And you're like, oh man, that car's bouncing, baby!
I played GTA 3 in its entirety before ever buying that game.
But you know what? GTA 5 is the first GTA game that I've bought for myself or even rented. I played maybe 20 minutes of all the others combined.
I have GTA 1. I had 3.
Now, do you have GTA 1 physical copy, or do you have it downloaded somewhere?
I have a disc.
Wow. Shit, son.
I believe it's over there. It's PS1. It's top-down, pixely as shit.
Yeah.
It's gross. It's not really fun. But it's funny. And the little sound bites when people talk, like when you shoot someone, or just the shit they say to you. Ow! Or when you're driving around, you find the line of Elvises walking around, they go, oh, like while you're splattering them. When you run them over, they go, oh. I'm like, what is this? I played that when I was like...
That was put to you in a non-vulgar manner.
It doesn't matter how it's put to you.
Over the top for the time.
It depends who you are. If you're a kid that watches a cartoon character... Of
Tom and Jerry sticking a fork in an electrical outlet.
If you can watch something on a screen of someone dying and you think
disconnect.
And you think it's okay to walk down the hall and kill someone, you're already broken.
Yes.
Your parents should have been watching close enough to know you're fucking broken.
If you realize the disconnect between pulling the cartridge out of the console and holding that information in your hands and putting it in,
I always understood very clearly this is a game / cartoon / animation.
I mean, both of us were raised... I was raised with firearms since the time I was like 5, 6. With what? Firearms.
Oh, firearms. Yeah.
Guns. For those of you that don't
I'm not going to go into what I own or don't own.
No, yeah, I'm not identifying that way.
We live in America, I'll say that.
Yes. We were both raised with firearms in the home.
Maybe.
They were responsibly stored.
I didn't see them laying around.
Yeah, they weren't around. But that's part of responsibly stored.
My dad's from Texas, so...
Yeah. They were in a responsible container until they were intended to be cleaned,
just
used,
long story short,
maintained.
Don't be a shitlord.
Exactly. The more... In whatever you decide to do. We're sitting here drinking alcohol. We're not going out to drive. We're not operating heavy machinery. We're not harming ourselves or others.
I'm literally not moving.
That's a responsible way to consume alcohol.
Yes.
So, and we're not puking on ourselves.
Right. Yeah. Well, we do that after the show.
Yes. So there's a responsible way to do almost everything.
Yeah.
So there was a responsible way to consume alcohol. There was
responsible way to use guns, and a responsible way to play video games.
Alcohol, firearms, video games, television, foodstuffs. Foodstuffs is actually one that's becoming harder and harder to use responsibly.
It is.
But it's something that you have to consider.
That feels good. God. After this, I'm loading up the original theme, the NES theme.
Alright. So we were raised with that responsibly. So we responsibly can make the disconnect between when we put a cartridge or a disc, or when we put on Google Glass or Oculus Rift, whenever in the future that's a consumer product.
And let's hope it is. Let's hope it is.
Let's hope it is. Because Google Glass and Oculus Rift looked freaking fantastic.
And whatever comes 30 years after that, because
and whatever
that happened,
we talk about with Nintendo with new consoles.
Yeah. If we do,
there's a responsible way to go about the disconnect. There is a difference between the virtual and reality.
Some kids can't see that. If your kid can't see it, don't let them
talk about it. I mean, if you have to be subtle about it, if you suspect it, say, hey, you play, if you've already purchased or you're thinking about purchasing, say, hey, I'm thinking about or already have purchased you Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto or Battlefield or X. Say, have you ever thought about what it would be to take another living thing's life? Or use that in a negative manner? Or abuse, alcohol or illicit drugs?
Yeah.
Or other things. Communication is only going to make it better.
Yeah, only going to make it better.
Because then you're aware.
Of what if your kid... Yeah, just see... whatever. Most of these people listening probably aren't parents and don't need parenting advice, really. But we've got our point across, and I fully agree.
Okay.
I fully agree.
Zeldacast, Bulldozer, that's getting into the pile. That's on the outer edge of the snowball at this point. The 2-meter snowball we've got rolling along.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff rolling along.
So we've got...
Yeah, I mean... just one very last thing. I never had that talk. No one had it with me.
Because we were immersed in it.
We were.
It was just
my dad,
the fishbowl we were swimming
literally
in.
The first games I owned when I was 5 years old, and my dad brought home my Genesis one day in a box, and what was in that box was the Genesis, hookups, 2 controllers, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Buster's Hidden Treasure, and Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is what started the ESRB. Yep. Because people get fucking ripped apart.
You pull out people's spines.
And hearts, and eat them, and then blow them up, and
you turn people into ice cubes and shatter them.
And before that, we used to rent consoles. Oh, God, yep. I'm dating myself now.
I rented an N64, and that was the first time I ever touched a video game console. My dad rented an N64, and we played Mario Kart. That was the first goddamn video game I ever played. That started the snowball.
Before Genesis, I played Castle Wolfenstein.
I played Wolfenstein.
Doom.
I played Duke Nukem 3D.
Same.
And Duke Nukem, some side-scroller on the PC.
I played Halloween Harry. I played, all kinds of stuff. And there on my dad's lap, I was that young, playing Wolfenstein. So I was immersed as...
I talked with my parents. I had to ask, can I go down to the basement? Because our computer was in the basement.
Same. My Windows 95.
Windows 95.
Was down the
basement.
I
went down and I asked my parents, can I go put in the floppy drive for Tonka? Tonka?
I played Tonka!
Fucking high five! Right?
And it's a big burly dude, right?
Yeah, and you went into the car shop, and you went into
yeah!
Oh my god! I pounded!
Oh man, I played Tonka! Oh, Tonka was so good!
Said, hey, can I go put in the floppy drive for Tonka? Hey, can I go put in the floppy drive for Duke Nukem? And if you asked for Duke Nukem, Dad went down with you and played it. You did round robin.
Me, my mom, and Dad.
When you got shot down, your dad picked up the keyboard and mouse. And when you died, you picked up the keyboard and mouse.
Me, my mom, and Dad, with the lights off down around our Windows 95, each with our keyboard settings, played Gauntlet.
There you go.
Through arcade, pirate-ass floppy disk Gauntlet. Where Enter puts quarters in the machine.
Yeah.
You push Enter for quarters. And my mom had the numpad.
Mm-hmm.
I had some shit in the middle, and my dad was over on the left of the
WASD,
yeah. And we're just playing Gauntlet, and I'm 3.5.
Yep. Now, what I had before I was doing...
Warcraft 1 and 2.
Now, I didn't play Warcraft. What I had in my house, and we still have, and I'd really, really, really like to repair for my dad, since he doesn't have the disposable income at this point, is we had a Gottlieb... or Gottlieb, I'm not sure of the pronunciation at this point. We had the black hole pin. We had the black hole pinball machine. We've still got it. It's just a little bit in disrepair. We've just got a pinball machine in our basement.
Thing?
Yeah.
The space thing that's on computers.
No, not quite Space Cadet.
Okay,
it's the black hole.
Okay.
It's an SA-80 pinball machine. We've just got a pinball machine sitting there.
Okay.
It's a little bit out of disrepair, but I can show you someday if you ever roll over my place. But it's the coolest thing. Because we had just, like, a little Tupperware of quarters that if you ran out of, like, coins on the machine, you just opened the coin drawer, because we had the key, and we left it unlocked. You opened the coin drawer, took a handful of quarters out, shut it, and just ran the quarters through. And then you played.
Speaking of
arcade,
it was
a family competition. Who could have the high fucking score?
Right. That sounds fun.
And it was like, who could escape the black hole?
I would have.
But it was in like this SA-80 like digitized voice. And I mean, if you get sucked in a black hole, your atoms are literally pulled into a spaghetti string.
Even if it's pinball.
That is one of the most violent deaths you can imagine.
Gotta escape that.
Who dares challenge the black hole? Was one of the big things it would say. And sometimes I would just plug it in and sit down in the basement and do my homework. Like my grade school homework, with this thing playing like the little theme song and the like shouting out things at me to challenge it.
Yeah, good stuff.
And that was my introduction. Like pinball and Duke Nukem and Tonka and renting an N64, and I got so hype. Like, I got as hype when I got my first generation of cats. Like, my parents are cat people. They don't walk dogs or whatever. So I had cats as kids. So I got as hype getting my N64 as I did my first generation of cats when I was a really, really little kid.
Yeah.
So, just, like, the big connection between, like, personal gain and challenge completing and competition and between, like, healthy competition between, like, parent and child and all that stuff.
Yep,
and I always was, like, real close with my dad. We were always back and forth. Like, if I practiced a long time, I could beat my dad, but if he practiced a long time, he would get above me. And then that, and the other. If I had a project in school, I'd fall behind or whatever. But it wasn't a bad thing, because I had a project in school. And whatever he had training for his job, or things that he had to go to a meeting for his job, I would get ahead. But that wasn't a bad thing, because he had his job. Or I had school. And there's positive things you have to take out and add to your gaming schedule as positive influences.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry I just, like, exploded with content there. But, wrap it back in. Gaming can be a massive positive influence on a young child.
Sure can be.
If staged and approached positively.
Yeah. Please don't not talk to them and plop them down on Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto.
They'll how it goes back.
Thinking that's what's raising them.
Yep.
They'll be raised
You are in a world that is based upon getting bigger, louder, easier to kill people with, kill other reactive players at this point, other player-controlled characters' guns. And for a long time, until they're 18 in most states, won't be able to acquire guns. But if you're a person that chooses to have guns in the household, they'll have access to those. And I mean, you can go about ways to put those in a safe, put those behind a locked door, put those where they do not know they are. But kids are smart. We really put that down these days. But kids are goddamn smart. We're teaching new math, and kids are getting it. My cousin, nephew is 9, and he's already doing basic algebra. They're wording it as word problems. Like, Johnny has 9 apples, they cost this. How much can he buy for $25? He's already doing word problems like that.
Yeah.
They're not allowing him to write it as...
You're so far gone and so far off the topic, it's been 15 minutes.
Shit. I'm sorry, guys. They're not allowing him to write it as, an algebraic equation, but he's already doing it. And he can do it. And he's doing it.
Kids are smart.
And you're not going to stop him from doing it. And if you can find him something that holds his attention and is big and flashy like a lot of current video games are, he's going to latch onto it. And if he's got free time and time alone and time you're not talking to him about things that he can find in current media. The same as we did. I'm not talking like there's some big, bad, scary ghost in modern media. But there's things that they can find that if you don't talk to them can be a negative influence.
Yes.
So you can make the world of gaming, like we're listening to Legend of Zelda, which has been one of the best influences in gaming that I or Rob has experienced. And that, if they might catch Majora's Mask, a remake in the next coming years, if it becomes a free release as an anniversary or promotionary title,
ooh,
which would be one of the greatest things that's happened in Nintendo's history, which would be a great selling point for something. They might construe some of those negative influences and absorb them and analyze them as negative things.
Possibly.
And export that and turn that into a negative external reaction. And turn that into a negative external reaction.
Yeah.
So, talk to your kids. I mean, I'm not talking eliminate using the iPad, your phone, a Game Boy, whatever iteration we're at when you're listening to that. We're at the 3DS at this current point in time. But talk to your kids. If you don't have kids at this point, you're probably a gamer at this point. But if you've got cousins or nephews and they're playing, Skylanders or the new Mario or whatever out at this point, and if they bring it over or you've got the console and they bring the disc and you happen to play it with them at Thanksgiving or Christmas like I did with my nephew, whenever, or the Super Bowl that's coming up in real world time, if you're in America, talk to them. You're playing Mario, or you're playing Resident Evil 4 that we really like now, or whatever Resident Evil that's out, or Legend of Zelda, whatever's on the 3DS, or Pokemon. Just kind of, talk to them about it. And reiterate and cement in the positive influences that gaming has had on you, that gaming can have on them, and that gaming is a positive influence and art form that is in modern media.
You good?
Boom!
You good?
Boom! I dropped the mic. That just spiked out the audio.
Please don't. Okay. I don't really know how to follow all that up.
That was big.
But I don't even want to talk about that anymore. But kids do get influenced by games. I have this little yearbook thingy. Every year my mom would have me write in it, from kindergarten to 12th grade. And I answer the same questions every year, without looking back. In kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd grade, I wanted to be like, quote, Squall and Link when I grow up. I totally forgot about that until after 12th grade, and I looked and I was like, fuck. I was sitting there with my little kid brain actually wanting to be like these guys, like wanting to be...
Pick up a sword.
Look like...
And stab dudes.
No, not that... I mean... No.
See, there's the negative influence. Where was your positive influence?
I didn't want to go gunblade a guy in half.
Exactly.
I wanted to get a good group of friends and protect them and, like... If bad dudes come, make them stop being bad dudes.
Have meaningful relationships.
I got all the positive out of it, but not every kid will.
Mm-hmm.
Not every kid should play games. I wish every kid could play games.
A lot of modern games have ramped up the flashiness.
The instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to shoot, bang, bang. Oh my god, you killed all these dudes. Look at all the dudes you killed and all the blood you want.
Look at all the things you accomplished in 20 seconds, whereas you had to play 2 hours to do that before.
Okay, the Okage Shadow King is an hour and a half to get to the second town.
Yep.
Like, Legend of Zelda is like 35 hours for a standard playthrough.
Yep.
Like, it's whatever. Anyhow, I still have so much stuff on the list. This is getting so long.
Now, I'm sorry I stole like a half an hour of content.
We need to run through if we're going to record tonight. So I'm giving 5 minutes to the remaining topics.
Okay.
And I will actually I'll turn off the mic if you talk past it. I have a time here.
Okay.
This one should be really quick because you're not really up on it. If it factors into real life, as I was saying before, manga, I have been keeping up with Attack on Titan, Sankareya, as we mentioned in the last story playthrough. Tagami Bachi was my favorite for 2 years, and I kind of drifted away. I'm getting back into it. It's a really cool thing. It's like people call it steampunk. It's not.
Okay.
Things don't run off steam. It's this weird subgenre that kind of has the same feel. It's called gaslight fantasy.
Okay. Yeah, I know what gaslight is.
It's gaslight.
Yeah.
It's this world where there's an artificial sun.
Yep.
And they made it in the fucking center of, like, their continent.
Yep.
And there's 3, almost like a Attack on Titan layout, 3 rings of civilization. Mm-hmm. The outer ring is poor as shit.
Yep.
Inner ring, then the inner ring, where you need a special kind of passport, border pass, all this good jazz, to get in there. And the main guy he meets this guy when he's really young and wants to be like him when he grows up. Blah, blah, blah. Goes and gets the same job he had to go meet him. They deliver letters, basically.
Yeah.
It's super difficult, though. Like, it's really dangerous and all this shit. And he gets there to headquarters, and like, oh yeah, he got discharged. He went fucking nuts. And the whole thing is him trying to find that guy.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. I've been reading Soul Eater. My sister let me borrow all this, besides...
I've watched through Soul Eater. It's a good series.
Soul Eater's a good series.
It's a good...
We're getting into... We got anime coming.
Without the Tim Burton.
This is mango. Are you up on any mango?
No mango.
No mango. Okay, then that means we are...
I drink a lot of mango bubble tea at the market. There's very good Thai stand.
Bubble tea's good.
Bubble tea's great. And I get mango bubble tea nearly every day. So I'm up on mango. So you keep going on your mango. I'm up to date on my mango.
I have my mango. Let me just make sure you didn't, like, break the... No,
I did break the audio.
Yeah,
I've been breaking the audio. I'm sorry, guys.
The microphone.
But I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's manga for me. I have all the Attack on Titan. I've
got a month of hype to catch up on, so...
A month of hype?
Yeah. I've been building the ball of hype in my...
Oh, for today?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. You had a lot to get out. Yeah, that's why I'm letting the podcast go as long as it needs to be, because it's been a month.
We've got like a 2.25 hour podcast at this point.
At least.
Or more.
More. It's more.
Much more at this point.
Next.
But it's
anime.
quality.
Anime.
I don't think it's been shit.
I am caught up on Kill la Kill. I
am caught up on Kill la Kill as well.
Finished Attack on Titan.
I finished Attack on Titan.
You did?
Yes, sir.
Was that a surprise for me today? Or did you just do it?
Not a surprise. I just did.
Oh, okay.
Because I like Attack on Titan, so I figured I'd finish it because it's good.
After how much crap we gave you, or just because it's good, and you were like, "Oh, finally do it," because you kept saying you didn't have the motivation. And me and Ryan hate you for not finishing it, and we were like, "He's not."
I finished it so I could talk about it with you guys and put in my. I finished it for the podcast.
We had a segment for the last podcast where we annoy you about not finishing it.
I know.
And we had to...
You had a segment on the podcast to annoy me for not being here.
Yeah, well, you
couldn't... And I'm sorry about that, but we did have to put down, a cat that I grew up with for 13 years.
Last weekend was not that, though.
Last weekend was my parents were shitlords and there was ice on the roads.
Yeah. Anyway, we're here now, so let's keep moving.
Yes, sir.
Kill la Kill, still pretty awesome.
Oh my god, I'm so hype on Kill la Kill.
It got draggy. It has passed that.
I felt the drag in episode
14
and
13
end of 13 to 14,
where they fight the different schools.
Yeah,
and I was
like that was staging.
I didn't care.
They were moving the scenery.
There were bigger things coming that I was excited for, but I was hating how long it was taking for them to happen.
I felt that they were taking the scenery of the academy and putting you into a bigger stage.
Yeah.
Now instead of just the academy, it's the region. So now
which needs
it's like
to happen, but they didn't do it. They
stepped it up to Shippu form. She's flying. She's doing things like that, and that's very Team Gurren. And now they're stepping up the size of the arena.
Studio Trigger.
Studio Trigger.
These days.
They're moving up the size of the arena.
Almost fell over.
Yeah.
I was really hoping you would fall and we can get that recorded.
No.
But...
I fell. There you go.
Oh no, they splattered all over the place. Gross, I'm not cleaning that up. Yeah, okay, that's good and great. Let's not get stuck, because...
Okay.
What, anime's good. You've watched Attack on Titan, we will talk about that while we play a game. Yeah? No? Okay.
Cut it. No, so bad.
Alright, fine.
I'm sorry, guys. That's okay.
Okay, we're rolling again after, like, the 5th break.
Except not rolling, like, on drugs, but rolling like on tape.
The microphone on the tape that we're super using. Because we use tape these days.
We plugged our Yeti into the tape recorder.
Oh, the Yeti. Welcome to the... Oh, wait, I must play the music yet again. Okay.
We should skip like 20 seconds of the music.
I guess.
Catch up with the audio.
Yeah. There we go.
Ooh, that was a really weird chord change when you switch the audio.
Yeah, so we did anime already. You finished AOT, but we'll talk about that later. And it's disgusting that it's been spoiled for you.
Come on, it's not.
There's no point. There's not a point to waste a moment of your life on that series if it's going to get spoiled.
Oh.
You get 0 points for finishing.
Eat my balls.
I would if I was interested in that, but no thanks. Wow, I was fucking kicking this table and I see that I was blowing up the audio levels. So I'm sorry if anyone sounded like a colossal titan was kicking the table, who Mark knows who it might be, because it was spoiled.
Spoilers!
Did you ask, or were you just told? Were you just told, or was...
No, we talked about it.
And you asked?
No, I watched through the whole thing, and then I'm like...
And she buys the manga?
So if Blutzy is the X-Titan, who the balls is the other Titans? Because Aaron's not the only goddamn Titan, so other people are goddamn special Titans.
You know who the other Titan is?
My dick!
Does she buy the spoiler? Does she buy the manga?
No, she just reads it online. I know. I know it's hard.
I'm the least hard. I've never been this flaccid in my entire life that a scan later reader would spoil Attack on Titan.
She is a pretty cool chick. I can live with the spoiling because we watched it together and I asked. Because somebody is the sexy Titan, somebody is the female Titan. So who the goddamn else is the other special Titans that we know about?
Do you know all of them?
No. All I know is...
Colossal, Armored, and Female, and Aaron.
Yep, that's all I know.
Alright, then she's not good at reading scanlations. Thank goodness. Or doesn't
Maybe she's just gotten it spoiled through other parts of the internet. And she's just telling me.
Okay.
But all I know is...
Or just looked on the Shingeki Wiki. The Shingeki no Wiki.
That's actually a good one. I like that.
I wish it was called that. It might be.
I'd like that. We gotta look that up later.
Shingeki no Wiki, if you want to say it that way. But, yeah, I've been reading it. Ryan borrowed them all from me, read them, and is buying them himself. We are both getting Sword Art when it comes out, as it releases, because we want to read Sword Art, and...
I've got so many aspirations to buy so many animes, or mangas rather, sorry. I've got so many aspirations to buy so many series of manga that there's not enough hours in the week to pay for.
You just need to... that's how I feel.
You need to prioritize.
And you're never satisfied with how many you bought, but having them at all is so much better than the feeling of wanting them and having none in the house.
Yeah.
Being able to go pick up Volume 1 of Inuyasha, like in your closet or wherever you keep it, always feels so good to just go flip through. Or like, I have Death Note, like 1 through 5. I have some Bleach. I have all of AOT. I have...
The X had, like, 1 through 20 of,
The X?
The X.
Oh.
Had 1 through 20 of, like, One Note. Or One Piece.
One Piece is...
And then...
Yeah, One Piece is enjoyable.
Through episode 20,
Yeah.
And
One Piece is enjoyable if that's your thing.
She had all of Fruits Basket. But then again, So she had all of Fruits Basket.
I don't know what the blank is supposed to be. I don't know what kind
All of the manga of Fruits Basket. She had 1 through whatever.
What's wrong with Fruits Basket?
I just tilted my head as far as it goes at Rob. Like, as far as my neck goes.
I heard, and I admit when I watch weird stuff, but I heard Fruits Basket was okay. In the right circles, I guess. I don't even know what it's about, so I don't...
It's not super tropey, but it's very astrology-ish.
I don't like astrology.
Exactly.
Alright.
So you wouldn't be super hype on Fruits Basket.
No.
I
like Haruhi.
It's very neuter, as in, like, it's not super fighty, but there's, like, little, like, tiffs.
Isn't it like there's like some weird fairy things or some nonsense too?
The dudes turn into animals based on
right.
Zodiac symbols in the Chinese calendar.
Only Zodiac I give a fuck about is in Final Fantasy Tactics.
Dragon?
Huh?
You're wrong.
I don't know what you're talking about. FF Tactics though has the coolest Zodiac shit.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Wait. So does 12 actually has a lot. We'll never finish talking about 12.
That's like a mile above my head. Welcome to the Zeldacast.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not talk about Fruits Basket. If we have to talk about that stuff, let's just talk about Haruhi Suzumiya.
I started it. I still haven't finished it. I'm working on it.
It's short.
It's up on my list of things.
Have you watched Another?
What?
Another. It's called Another.
I have not. But I'm still not through Dead Man Wonderland. I'm still not through that, so that's above on my queue list.
I don't want to say it this way, but don't bother
with Dead Man Wonderland.
I thought I liked it.
It's okay.
It's good.
It's just not worth the ending.
Well, okay. Here's the deal. The anime, they started production, and during the anime. The way I think it goes is as they were producing it, the manga went on hiatus.
Okay.
Bitch got pregnant. Happens. Can't really keep up with your work in the later stages of pregnancy. I get that.
Now,
it's gone for 2 years.
Now, what I'll say about pregnant women is they have some odd food requests. Now, I mean, I had a guy come up to the market.
I would know. I've been pregnant.
I had a guy come up to our meat market.
He was
and
pregnant.
Not any fault of his own. We don't sell any poultry. We sell pork, veal, lamb, beef, and some imports and stuff. Some dry goods and seasonings and things like that. Some vinegars.
Yes, quickly, please.
So, he comes up and asks for chicken cordon bleu. I say, we don't sell any poultry, but I know some other stands in the market that might, blah, blah, blah. We talk about it. But I feel like... What were you saying?
I like Haruhi Suzumiya.
I don't know where I was going with poultry.
Why are you talking about poultry?
Keep going.
What the hell are you talking about?
Fuck. I don't know.
I don't even know what you're getting at. But
so there's just some things we can't get a hold of. And
pregnant people?
No, what were you saying with pregnant people?
The lady who writes Dead Man Wonderland got pregnant.
Yeah, so there's some weird shit that goes on with pregnant ladies.
Yeah, okay.
So there's just some things that you can't deal with.
And she came back and finished the manga in 2 volumes.
Just so props.
Knocked it out real quick. Not so much props as that... I have a life. Let me just tie this... tie a bow on it and push it.
So it was like the PR-shaped dress?
I don't know what you're talking about. My head hurts.
The PR-shaped dress is, when you've got something that goes really, really bad, you put,
It was going great, which is the problem.
You put a dress on a turd.
Alright, yeah.
It
wasn't a dress, turd, though.
But it's still a turd.
It was the other way around. She had a pretty dress, and then
She wiped shit on it.
She wiped a little shit on it and then gave it to you. And you're like,
that's really sad.
Yeah, because it was really promising, and all but the last episode were super watchable and worth your time. The last episode is not worth your time, and will leave you wanting to be like, oh shit, I should go hop on the manga and finish this the way it was intended to be finished. And then it gets rushed right after.
Aw, man.
So it's like, it had, like, Woodpecker fighting Mockingbird was do you watch Far Enough?
No.
There's the girl that's all like, that like fucking backstabs him once they get in the fight.
I've watched one episode.
Oh, you know nothing. Like, why?
I know nothing.
Don't say I've been watching Dead Man 1. You watched an episode.
I watched an episode, but I've watched all the way through Desert Punk,
cool,
which I really liked.
Nice.
God, Desert Punk was great.
Yeah. Trigun's really good.
Is it?
If you're into that.
I started Trigun.
Trigun is
a couple of
is that mid-90s kind of. It has a.
It gets vampire-ish.
A little. It's the other.
Gets some vampire in my things that I don't want. In
Alright,
my
that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to like it. I'm saying it's good. You don't have to like it. It's a.
Was Trigun the one with Brandon Heat?
It's the one with Vash the Stampede.
No, I don't know that one. Which one's the one with Brandon Heat?
I don't know who that is. I might not be hearing you right.
Brandon Heat.
Is that a voice actor?
No, that's like a character in the anime.
It could be. I watched it when it was on TV, like on Adult Swim.
Okay.
Was
it the one where he carries the big
He has this big red, almost Inuyasha looking Vash the Stampede. The main guy has the straight up like blonde hair.
Okay.
And he has these like glasses that go like and they're like they have this weird squiggle on them, and he uses pistols. The one girl in his team has this big like coffin thing or whatever.
He carries the coffin in the one that I'm talking about.
Is that like, I don't know. Let's not get all into this. This isn't really content. This is just us guessing at the names of an anime.
No, but Brandon Heat's pretty cool. Whatever anime he's in is pretty awesome.
That totally could be it. My head hurts so bad.
I'm sorry. That sucks.
Yeah.
So we'll keep moving and I'll try to keep my stupid ass
super duper good. Read the manga. Anyone who is into it, please. It's equally good. And you can get further in the story that way.
Is it the one where like they have like the alternate timeline where he's like the gangster kid?
What?
Never mind. Okay, then we're thinking of two totally different animes.
Or I'm just wrong. It was so long ago. I was like 12. I just remember thinking Vash was so fucking cool. Because he gets shot at so much, and it's just like a hero thing where the bullets never like land.
Yeah.
They're just hitting all over. And what's cool is he has that huge bounty. It's like 9999999, like this stupid thing.
Yeah, maxed out.
His bounty is maxed out. It's like the equivalent to like the economy. And he's not a bad guy. He goes to town, and it's just like snowballed from this thing.
The big business guys hate him.
They hate him from some little paltry thing so long ago. They started a fight. Then he went to another town. More dudes look for him. More dudes. And it makes it so that the town gets destroyed by the guys trying to catch him, and he never fires a bullet, and the town is destroyed, and the legend goes that he did that.
Yeah.
And he's actually afraid to shoot, and he comes out as this badass, and he's not. And he just never, out of sheer luck, doesn't get shot. And just it's fucking great.
Okay.
And Outlaw Star, if you haven't watched it, is another one I really like from around that time. Gundam Wing.
I haven't watched any Gundam yet.
Gundam Wing
I have finished, along with I haven't finished Outlaw
Cowboy
Star.
Bebop is what you want to say.
Cowboy Bebop is my...
Is your jam?
Second...
After Baccano?
Yes! Second favorite anime after Baccano. Because Baccano is just perfect. They put it in the goddamn 20s and 30s. I mean, it's just split timelines and steam trains and suits and Tommy guns and all that shit. It is my jam. Like, you cannot shit on that for me.
For you, yeah.
Yeah, you cannot talk enough shit on that it will ever tarnish my viewing of that.
You like Baccano.
I love me some Baccano.
I couldn't finish Baccano, but...
And that's fine.
It was good anime. It wasn't my subject matter.
Yeah.
I even kind of like that stuff, but it just wasn't executed the right way on a topic that's not my jam to keep me there forever. Like, I also wouldn't watch something about, I don't know, like Vikings. Like, I'm not all into that thing either. If it was like some anime about Viking dudes, it would have to be really good for me to watch it.
Yeah.
It's not subject matter that's my thing. I love Inuyasha type junk. Mm-hmm. It just Kyoto as fuck. I like
Hokkaido.
I love mech. Like,
I love me some mech as well.
Mecha is really good.
Mech is great.
Like Code Geass, Code Goose.
I'm still so close ending Code Goose.
You didn't.
I still haven't. I'm so close.
The ending is my first or second best ending of a thing ever.
Of a thing ever. Okay.
I'm
close. Whenever
I read the scanlations, let me tell you about the ending.
maybe I'll do it this week.
You need to. If you've had other things that have ended in your life, this will be one of the best ones. It's so good, but you need to you should almost go back and watch it to be 52, 54 episodes invested when you watch that ending. If that's too hard to do, don't, just so you get to see it. Like, if you've got that far to where you've heard, like, you need to go finish it, because what happens, it's not even that great of like a twist, but it's
just that he goes and he's like, well, fuck.
No, like, the last thing that happens is, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but it's so significant.
Like, he's already said, well, fuck, I'm just gonna... Or has he not said, alright, I'm just gonna fucking...
It's neither of those. It's a certain thing happens.
Like, he's trying, but it just doesn't?
A certain thing happens, and you're like, oh.
He just can't.
No.
He can eventually?
Eventually what?
I don't even know. I'll watch it. I'll go back.
No.
I'll go back to...
A thing happens and you go, oh, that's why the whole series happened. It validates because everything.
Shitsu is an alien?
No!
That's been a thing forever.
Wait, no, she kind of... No, but that's... No. If a certain one, like...
He killed his mom?
No! A certain little... big thing happens, and you're like, okay. Oh, that was good.
Now I gotta watch it from
onward. Yes.
God, we're fucking clipping this mic.
We are clipping.
Sorry, guys, but it's too good.
The show's so worth it.
If you've watched this far, you really fucking like our content. Or you've just been doing other things for long enough that you are, this far in. Thank you.
This happened due to me not seeing you for a month, and us having a month of things to talk about. Oh my goodness.
What does Garmin say?
Garmin wants me to update my GPS eventually, but I'm not.
Wants you to update your map.
Let's be done. Let's not talk about the new Nintendo console, World or Mag.
No.
You want to?
I want to so bad.
Okay, then let's.
Okay.
Nintendo, new console focusing on health and fitness.
So, I feel that health and fitness fit in with the
Nothing.
Wii Fit. Wii Fit 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
There's no market for that now.
That gimmick
The Wii filled that market.
The Wii filled it, and then...
then some. And that had good content.
It was a gimmick that hit hard. And then... Alright.
And then everybody tried to hop on. Because it was good. And then PS Move did it subpar, but kind of fingertips on the ledge, but slipped off.
Connect.
And then Connect was like...
Flop like a salmon in your living room.
Worse than. So there's that.
Flop like a trout. It's worse, I guess.
Flop like a sea hag.
RuneScape says trout's worse than salmon. I believe it.
Yeah. Flop like burnt shrimps. We do not accept burnt tunas. So
that's past.
That's
please
motion
don't
gaming.
Make a console.
That's motion gaming
based on fucking Wii Sports and Wii Fit.
At some of the financial reports that they put out and some of the financial meetings that they've had, they've mentioned that they're doing a leapfrog strategy, wherein that the Wii and 3DS and sort of kind of maybe the Wii U generation is a console gaming generation. Then there's mobile entertainment like your smartphones, your iPads. Maybe they're going to make a mobile gamepad like they did with the Wii U, but a totally separate unit?
Possibly.
Maybe, which would be really neat and a sellable object. Then there's wearable things like Google Glass, Oculus Rift, and the like.
Yeah.
And the Virtual Boy.
Please, Virtual Boy 2.
Virtual Boy
2014.
2. If you want to do that, I'd look at one. I might not buy it because, goddamn, you couldn't play that thing for 25 minutes without puking.
I might play it.
Or
buy it.
I might buy it just so that in 30 years I can say, yeah, I bought that Virtual Boy 2.
It's better than Virtual Boy 1.
And then they say there's this nebulous market for a non-wearable entertainment system that they're leapfrogging over all of that.
When you have to specifically say that the thing you're making is a non-wearable video game system, like
all the other video game systems are non-wearable,
implying
so I don't know where they're going. If they're smarter than me, God, they're going to sell me all this content because they're smarter than me. They're taking care of this.
I have... What Nintendo console am I missing?
Virtual Boy?
That's not really a console.
No, goddamn, that's a console.
Alright.
I
don't have a Virtual Boy, but besides Virtual Boy, I would say that I will not buy a Nintendo console that's for Wii Fit and Wii Sports and is a fitness...
Is a Wii...
To me...
is a Virtual Boy 2.0.
You know, like the Nike Fuel thing? You wear that?
Yeah.
And to me, that's that. That's workout equipment or something.
Yeah.
I have a treadmill at home. I have a weight set.
They're not selling you another one with the words Nintendo.
I don't need one that says Nintendo, has a Nintendo logo peeled off on, a decal on the side. I want a game console. Let's
play a game.
If this has X... I don't want to say X2, but if this has Xeno whatever 2 from Wii U, then I'll super buy it, whatever. But just make a good game console or fix the one you have,
please. And make
a good handheld, another good handheld.
And what they're doing is when they screwed up with the Wii U, and I'll say they screwed up. Because they tried to jump the gun in a good way with the console generation. And they've done that successfully for a good long while. N64. Big. Hit before the Sega Saturn, or what was it, the Sega Genesis?
I don't think it released before Saturn.
They did...
You're getting all gunked up. Sega Genesis
I'm terrible at timelines right now.
Yeah, because earlier you were asking me if Ocarina came before Link to the Past, which was really weird.
I'm bad at timelines.
Link to the Past was Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Ocarina was N64.
Yeah.
N64 was, at least in a release, 96.
Okay.
Saturn, I believe, was 95. PS1 was 94.
Okay.
Genesis was 90 or 89.
Mm-hmm.
So saying N64 beat Genesis is 7 years off?
Is bad information.
Bad info. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Is they released that. They were after PS1.
Mid-interim generation
they always do that.
Deal.
They do that. They do their own generation.
Release off calendar.
Off the competitor's chosen generation time. They either go before...
Whether it's Sega or Sony or Microsoft, they are offset so that their release date is its own thing without any external influence.
They get a year or two being the only player in the game.
So I feel that
it has to hit hard, because when that ends, all the hype goes to the other guys.
Yep. Because they make, and I'm not saying underpowered, because when they develop for these consoles and handhelds, they do a great job of it.
Yeah.
The 3DS is a successful machine.
Very.
I mean, their limited edition business plan and releases, I'm a testament to that. I've got that limited edition A Link Between Worlds 3DS. I bought an Ocarina 3D.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time 3D.
Yeah.
If they do Majora's Mask, I'm on board with that.
I would hope.
So, they've got the market, and they're doing successfully with that.
Successfully.
They're sexing me good. They're sexing me good with these limited edition,
good hard
edition releases and nostalgia releases. I gotta slow down. I'm sorry.
We are almost done here. We can make it.
So they're doing okay with their handheld off-generation releases. They're doing good with that. But so far, they've kind of been like a step and a half off with their full platform releases. The Wii felt weird, but it was new enough and there was no other competitor enough that it jived.
Yeah.
Like, Kinect and PlayStation Move was new or non-existent enough that you could get away with releasing the Wii.
I feel that the Wii was also a super new thing, and the Wii U can't pull it off because it's just a slightly better Wii.
Yeah.
And it even mostly...
It's a combination of a slightly better Wii and a 3DS, but the 3DS portion is really poorly executed.
Yeah. But it's a slightly better Wii, and that's not enough.
Good enough.
It could be as weak as it is, but if it was something that wasn't a Wii, it might be out there enough to be competing right now.
If they put a competing console, competing hardware.
Yeah.
I mean, 1080 with 4K compatibility whenever it comes out on displays.
Yeah.
I mean, TVs and whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Great online. Nintendo's been great about not charging us for online stuff.
That's nice.
It'd be great if they were the only competitor in the new generation without a paid online.
But they hardly have online.
And
it's so jank.
If they came out with Smash Online for the Wii U...
Oh, it's probably gonna be multiplayer online, but you're gonna need a friend code and all this...
dumb. It would be the dumbest that they've done in decades to not have online compatibility and matchmaking for Super Smash.
Yeah, like a game lobby.
It would be dumb. Just bad planning. And I will come back... What that?
It's gotta have it.
It's gotta have it. And we will come back and say, wow, guys, really?
Yeah.
If Super Smash drops and you get it, and...
I'll get it.
I'll probably get it for 3DS.
It's good enough.
Good enough. Not quite the best. But if they just don't have
matchmaking... It has Skull Kid in it.
Yes, it does.
What does that mean? We don't know.
A Link Between Worlds, they told us they were going to tease for a new game, and then they didn't. That was sad.
Well, that was all in the other podcast. We can go into that. You guys can go back and listen to the other ones that aren't 4
Welcome
hours.
to the Zeldacast again.
Yeah, welcome again
so,
to the Zeldacast.
If they don't have matchmaking, that's going to be the worst decision they've made in quite a while. Rather than combining the Wii U drop with whatever new console they have in mind. If you could have a console that was health and fitness based, with a gamepad maybe of smaller dimensions, maybe of portability like a 3DS.
Or a Game Gear.
JK. Or like a portable station that gained power achievements, X objects, advantages.
Do you ever notice how
based
much
on your physical
gamepad looks like a Game Gear?
A lot.
A lot.
The screen is slightly more streamlined with the case, but if they had like a thing you could plug into your treadmill or exercise bike,
that's not video games to me.
Y, Z, object. I mean, when they say they're going into health and quality of life, that they've said they're going into, that's what I picture. I could be light years off, but that's what I picture.
And that's not what I'm interested in.
And that's not what you're interested in as a hardcore
gamer and collector.
IP and franchise collector and gamer.
Yeah, I'm looking for IPs. I'm not looking for your weird health tie-in. That's not an IP.
Exactly.
That's a treadmill or something. I don't...
So... Pardon me.
Yeah.
That's where I personally see them taking the business. With the Wii branding as separate from Nintendo, I see them maybe developing Nintendo consoles separate from Wii, with Wii being a health and fitness based enrichment brand.
Because having
and Nintendo being handhelds and weak consoles. And I don't say weak as a poor thing, because they'll have Legend of Zelda, they'll have their other powerful IPs on
Let's
there.
Hope that they don't do a whole generation that's just... They wouldn't, but a generation that's health and fitness... I don't even know what that means.
Like something you would have like a fitness bicycle with. Like you would have a game you plug in called Tour de France
even
X.
Sell?
To a certain group. It would sell to the market that existed for Wii Fitness in 2005.
Right,
and that's a direct parallel to how you guys described it before, and how Two Best Friend Cast has described it in their discussions. There existed a market for that kind of gaming before.
Doesn't mean it's there now.
And they say they're leapfrogging over mobile and wearable entertainment to a new form of gaming that has not yet been defined.
Alright.
And that's where I see it going.
Okay, shut the fuck up.
Okay.
It's been way too goddamn long.
So that's where I see that going.
Yeah. Okay, video games can be a lot of things. Number one, though, is sitting on my ass.
Sitting on my ass.
It's not about pedaling a bike or running or being fit. I'm playing games because I'm not fit. If I was fit...
Man, I have gone from anything but fit from high school to doing marching band.
Yeah.
Woo! But...
I can
achieve great things with not being fit in video games that I could not achieve in a fitness-based video game.
Right, I don't want them to take away what I'm good at. And when they start focusing on how fast I can pedal a bike,
if Mario or Luigi jumps as high as you can pedal in X seconds,
yeah,
you're fucked.
And if Link won't go beat the boss because I'm not doing enough jumping jacks...
If you're wearing, weight-resistant gloves, or you're,
I don't know.
miles ahead in consumer electronics, but if you're in a hydrostatic, which is like a big water tank, or where they've got these 360-degree treadmills that they're experimenting with, like Oculus Rift, Omni treadmills, and you've got weight-resistant, straps on your hands that resist your movement like the weight of a sword.
Yeah.
And you're literally...
That's kind of cool.
It'd be fucking cool!
Could be.
I mean, it would reinvent the arcade. Because it would be a massive investment to make that facility. But it would be really inaccessible to the unfit gamer, which...
I'm not that unfit, but just like...
No, you could do it.
I could do it.
But you would not thrive in that environment of massive physical exertion gaming.
And I wouldn't be chill.
Enjoy
I would
it.
be like, you're playing a video game where you have to move. Now's where you move. And like, I'm already uncomfortable enough when I play Twilight Princess that I have to stand.
Yes.
And waggle. And I don't think Wii is bad, but I would much rather have a controller. This is coming from a person that wishes Zelda stayed on N64 to this date. And still released for N64. I want a controller with buttons and a stick.
I wish you could solely use the Pro Controller.
I think you can for
buttons, or the buttons that are solely on the Wiimote and Nunchuck.
Because Twilight Princess did have a GameCube release, and I think it supported Pro Controller. Skyward Sword required Motion Plus. You had to use Motion.
See, that's why I don't have it.
And
I don't have Motion Plus.
Super unimmersed me even without two screens to be looking at. I was so unimmersed by, I have to point my controller up. And I'm here looking at it, right? Making sure it's facing the ceiling and trying to check back, look at length, look at my controller, I don't like looking down at my controller. I like to get good with my controller. And
you want it to be muscle memory.
I want it to be muscle memory.
You're used to getting good at an N64 controller. It's
and
micro muscle memory.
My thumb moves, not my whole arm. I don't have to stand up, spin around, do all this shit. And if there's a console based on that, and there's going to be Zelda games, and then as a collector where I have to make the choice...
macro muscle, like full limb or body movement.
And also, I just don't want to look like an asshole flopping around in my living room.
Yep.
I don't have enough room in my room.
And certain gamers just don't have that liberty of space.
I don't. I own all your other consoles, Nintendo. There's not enough room in my room to go flopping around the place. Because there's there's a SNES right on my floor.
I'm a foot and a half away from his Wii U. I'm a foot away from his PS2, PS1, HD PVR, a foot and a half from the PS3. I'm a foot and a half from the Sega Genesis and 32X on top of that. The SNES, the Dreamcast.
I think there's 11
NES,
consoles.
The VHS.
Yeah, there's like
the Sega CD. The N64. I'm
both the N64s.
I'm 4 feet away from the Wii.
I don't have due to your releases, Nintendo, I do not have the room to play your fitness-based console. I just don't. And I don't want to flop around my room. I want an N64 controller.
So, make a home-based...
nothing.
Console. Make a sedentary console.
N65.
N65.
Please. And make Mario 64 too.
I want to see N14 for 2014. I want to see it December of 2014.
What?
An N2014.
Oh, and N24. Okay. But yeah, it's remember I was talking about Nintendo Fusion?
Yes.
Hopefully this is that. And their launch, what they're meaning to say, there's a weird translation thing.
Yes!
What they're hoping to release are is a new Wii Sports and Wii Fit to launch with this new console that people really are super hype about. But as it progresses...
The hype went away 5 years ago.
It went...
with the release of the Wii.
Hopefully...
a year and a half after the Wii released, the hype for that market went away.
Yeah, and I hope...
in my opinion.
They have a console that can flesh out all their IPs and carry them on into
and
the
I
future.
want to see them expand on IPs they've just come out with. Because Wonderful 101 has had a massive success.
Isn't that Platinum, though? That's not even Nintendo's IP.
No, it's not Nintendo's IP. It's on their console.
Nintendo promised a new IP coming last year.
Yep.
Didn't. Year of Luigi, where he barely had anything.
That, you and Ryan talked about that a lot. But even with Wonderful 101 being a third-party IP, it's new, people liked it, it was a success in my opinion.
And there's a sequel coming.
And there's a sequel coming.
Good.
How are you going to incorporate that into your Wii? Because that's not dead yet, apparently. How are you going to incorporate that into your Wii U, which was dead on birth because you decided it would be, but when you didn't support it?
Yeah, you gotta...
And how are you going to put that into your next mid-gen console that you're trying to rescue the company with?
Maybe stop doing mid-gen.
Exactly.
Do a really solid handheld, wait out Wii U, and ride the next gen at the proper time.
Are they going to come out with, if they're not going to do a mid-gen TV console, are they going to come out with something reminiscent to the PSP or the Game Gear, where it's a big handheld console?
Reminiscent? No. Another one? Yeah, they've already kind of said that the 3DS is 3-4 years old in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
That's time for the next one to come out.
Is the Revolution... What's the new console they're talking about? What have you called it?
The one that they...
The Nintendo Fusion.
The Fusion, which was talked about, which was rumored, is one that is a... It's a
health and quality of life.
Well, the Fusion wasn't specifically that. It was a rumor that Nintendo is talking about a new console, which will essentially... And they did say with this new health and fitness one that wasn't technically called the Fusion, but the Fusion, the idea behind it was that it's a combo pack. It's a handheld and a TV console. They
sort of like the Wii U where you can take the gamepad away.
You can bring it out to the store, you can bring it to New York City on a vacation, you can bring it wherever you want, and it plays its own games, has its own cartridge slot, but then you bring it home, and it syncs up, and now it's a controller on your console, and they play nice together, and it's all on one account.
I would like something where when you do something with a gamepad, you put the disc in first, and then you take Wind Waker HD away with you.
Yeah.
I would like to see something where you put the media into the gamepad, and the console plays nice with that.
Like a PlayStation kind of thing.
Yeah, like the PS...
Vita or TV or something like that?
Yes.
The Vita TV? I don't even know.
Where you can take... I mean, I can do it with my laptop. Like where I take, Netflix or X application that I'm doing with my laptop.
Yeah.
And then make it play nice with my TV through, X wired connection or wireless connection if I've got a, fancy enough TV.
Yep.
I can make that play nice on the big screen. So I'd like to see something like that where it's a standalone handheld, but if you've got...
This is Kakariko, by the way.
Yes, I like this. I was going to say, this is probably Kakariko.
It's weird. This is called Inside a House alt version. So for 4 Swords, I guess this is Inside a House.
I haven't played enough for 4 Swords.
I don't know either. So.
I'd like it to come with
I have a 4 Sword shirt from release.
Shit.
That's weird. It still fits.
It's such an odd little release.
I don't know why I have a shirt.
Apparently it's quality release.
It's quality.
Even from you. But it's like this odd little niche puzzler.
Yeah. It was their shot at a multiplayer.
There you go.
What was weird,
a multiplayer puzzle.
It was like a link cable, multiplayer, and then 4 Swords Adventures for the GameCube. You had the weird connector cable, and your friends had to have them too. Putting your Game Boy Advances into the slots. It was up to 4 players. Same with this, I believe, in some facet. But we need to finish up.
Yeah, so like I was saying, I'd like to see something where they have like a handheld console.
That'd be nice.
Where they've got like a modular unit that you plug into your TV, your Wii U, whatever you want to say, or whatever they come up with, where it plays nice with not only your TV, but the Wii network, where you can bring your handheld to the larger market, not only through like your Wi-Fi and Street Pass, but as a larger console. Where something that it's not reducing your gameplay by taking it away from your TV, but expanding upon it. Like the 3DS is great. I feel like the flow between the top screen where all your gameplay and whatnot is happening, and your bottom screen where your menus, your map, everything else is playing is very seamless. And that's very convenient for them because it's so close together. And they tried to do that very much so with the Wii U, where they had the gameplay going on in the big screen TV, and they brought your map, or your menu, or your whatnot to the gamepad.
Yeah.
Or your X multiplayer option with, Nintendo World, or whatever they have.
Yeah. Nintendo Land.
Nintendo.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Or Nintendo Online. In general.
Any option they have.
Okay.
With that. it was very disconnected.
Yep.
And it made it very obvious who was using the gamepad. Everyone that's using the 3DS has that major gameplay element of the top screen.
Yes.
Whether it's Pokemon or your A Link Between Worlds multiplayer options, or your 25th anniversary of Four Swords options.
25th.
25th. Sorry. I'm really trying to rush so we can finish things up. So it's very connective. It's very connective, and it's very intuitive, and it's very close and very convenient. When you have to go from looking at your TV to looking at your lap where you're holding the gamepad comfortably,
yes,
it's very disconnective, and it's very unimmersive. So, come up with a way to immerse me with my gamepad and then make looking up at my TV an option.
Alright. It is an option, I mean, but it's... it breaks looking down from the TV across the room, down over my room, and into my lap at this little thing, and all my friends are still looking at the TV.
Breaks my immersion.
It fucks it up, and like...
And I mean, like, Secret of Mana had multiplayer, and that super didn't break your immersion. That was dual screen, like, you sat there together and you played that shit, because you didn't have another option on it. It was great.
Wait, dual what?
Like, Secret of Mana, how we went downstairs to your SNES?
Yeah.
And we plugged that in.
Yeah.
And we each picked up a controller.
I had no idea what you meant by dual screen. It was...
Like, we were... Sorry, I said dual screen.
You're both on the same screen.
You're on a single big-ass screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like...
Maybe a better...
Make it...
Any game where it's not split screen but on the same screen.
Players.
Super Smash.
Yes. Make it bridge players together and give a community aspect.
Yeah. That's good. That's always good.
That's my last word.
And that would be nice, and if it could do other things than Wii Fit and that kind of... Like, I'm really hoping...
Don't make me buy a goddamn, scale to play my
video
Wii Fit games.
Just any games.
So there you go.
Yeah, just games should not be fitness. Fitness should not be games. It's fine if you make one based on the other.
Make a Wii U Fit. I don't care.
I want it,
but don't make it the selling point of the console.
Please. Oh, this is so weird. This is the save music, but this is also a bunch of... Oh my gosh. This song plays so many points in other Zelda games. I hope this all syncs up well. This is in Majora's Mask and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it... I don't even fucking know anymore. Just... If it comes out and it's going to be fitness-based, I hope it's only fitness. Like, there's not a Zelda game on it.
Like, it's not story and fitness.
I hope I don't need to buy it if it's just that. Or I hope it's mainly their IPs, but they're going to have, like, more fitnessy games than they used to.
Make it release with an actual game.
And then make, like, the
Wii Sports and Wii Party and Wii Resort like you did when you released Wii Motion Plus.
Yeah.
Make that optional stuff. I mean, Motion Plus was a good upgrade.
Yeah, it's okay.
And it's okay that they brought that in later.
Better.
Expansion Pack's better.
Expansion Pack for life.
Oh, yeah. So, you can integrate those things as you just make better hardware.
Yeah.
Make it accessible, like you did with Motion Plus. You can just buy the little plug-in, and then your games get more accurate and better.
Yep.
And eventually, after enough time, you can make them required. But
I think
don't make it the required option of buying a whole new console.
Yeah. All right. I would say that's far more than enough.
Can we finish out this song?
Yeah, I don't even know that the song will be synced up at this point, but
we'll go until we finish the song at the very least.
Yeah. All right.
We good?
Yeah.
So things that came out. We went through game news. The consoles and things that came out.
I don't even want to talk about World at War anymore.
You popped in World at War for a little while.
I played it. I was still really good. I got first place in every match. It wasn't broken at all.
I mean broken as in, like, there's certain builds that you can do that will just stomp.
Yeah, but then everyone plays it.
Yeah.
Then now no one's stomping anymore. You all have the same stomp ability. Originally, I played MP40 because that's been my favorite gun since the first Call of Duty. And little did I know that would become meta. And I was raffle stomping kids that had no idea how I was doing it. And then it became meta, and now everyone uses an MP40.
I was big on
I really don't want to talk about
shot.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, I was big on single-shot rifles. I've always been big on single-shot rifles because I can double-tap real quick.
Because no one's looking for
I'm big on the magic fingers because of guitar and saxophone and all that other stuff. So that's brought me into that.
Talk about mag.
With mag.
I don't care about World at War. I played my month of playtime.
I used to play a good amount of mag. And that was a big, big release because it was massive multiplayer on an FPS. And I'm talking 64v64. That's a big goddamn match. And that was great. And it worked. And it didn't bog down. And the one thing I really liked about it, it felt really PC-ish.
But why are we talking about mag?
Because, as with things that you know that I like...
Such as?
Chrome Hounds.
There you go.
Servers have officially gone offline. No longer will you be able to log into mag online and play 64v64. The service is no longer available. The era of mag and Chrome Hounds, very PC feel, very optimizable, very playable and twitchy, and quality shooters and games where you must put a step of thought between you and the next player are down.
Okay.
Now is the game of spray this hallway with bullets and you'll probably win.
Good. Good. Only thing I care about customizing is Cloud's materia.
There you go.
Oh, gross! That reminds me of my thing I wanted to even say. We were talking about Final Fantasy 13-3, and I was telling you about how the sales went by half, and then by half again. In Japan, 13-3, so now for pre-order here you get Lightning, and she has Cloud's Buster Sword in his soldier uniform. And I'm like, oh my god, they want you to buy it so bad.
So bad.
Like, remember Cloud? And like,
yeah, maybe you'll be able to be like Cloud.
Maybe you could be like Cloud yet again. And that feels kind of gross.
So the age
mag servers went down.
Of mag servers and Chrome Hound servers and thinking about your FPS games outside of the competitive circles. Because if you even wanted to goddamn log into mag or Chrome Hounds, you had to be thinking about it.
Yeah.
So those games are gone.
Yep. And
it's a lament.
So sad.
Because I like both of them.
So sad. I didn't play either. So sad.
So someday, somewhere, there'll be a revival.
Did you know that Sonic 3D Blast is still playable? Anytime you want.
Shut up and go away, Rob.
Are you aware that Kingdom Hearts...
No, it's not playable. It was never playable.
It was broken.
Once Gooby got into my console games...
Gooby and Dolan are your party members. Your only main party members are Gooby and motherfucking Dolan.
I can't.
And you fight Final Fantasy characters in Nightmare Before Christmas Land?
I'm done.
It's the best.
I have nothing else constructive to say.
Then that you're done.
At this point, the only thing I'm going to start doing is spewing rancid slurs.
Can we do that in the gameplay videos?
We can do that in the gameplay videos.
Okay,
we can't do that in the podcast because the podcast is apparently getting us a lot of views because we make good content.
We at least used to till you came over.
Thank you.
Can we end with that, please?
I bring the level of the channel from 2 foot to 1.25 foot.
I would agree.
This has been Turnip Gaming. I'm Mark.
I'm Rob.
This has been the Zeldacast. Have a fantastic evening.
Yep. Night.